So I went over there, and the IG guys buzzed me in on the upper floor, and I walk in, and there's Jim and the two IG guys. They said, come on back to the conference room. I walk into this room, this long walnut conference room, and I sit on one side of the table, Jim on the other, two IG guys at the end. And they said, the CIA will be here in just a moment. I'm like, ooh, I didn't know the CIA was coming to this. And so we wait. There's a buzz on the door. The door opens, and in walks the division chief of this cover protection division.
Who told you, drop it?
Told me, the division that told me to drop it or else. And they said, have a seat at the end of the table, sir. And this is GS-15 CIA official, and way above my head. He sat down at the end of the table. He didn't know why he was there. He was kind of nervous. And they said, consider this an official rebuke by the Department of State to the CIA for putting the lives of their covert agents at risk for over 10 years and then covering it up. Consider this an official rebuke. And this report is going to go to the entire intelligence community, and they're all going to see what you've done. Well, blood just drained from his face. He got ashen white and froze and was shocked. It was like, uh-oh, we're busted. And they said, you can go now. So he gets up and he walks out, and I'm sitting there thinking, well, that's the end of me. That's the end of my career. And I remember going back to the CIA headquarters, walking through the main hallway, and it was, figuratively speaking, it was like I had a laser dot in my back. I knew they were coming for me. And eventually they wound up assigning me to a secret base where they did all kinds of dirty deeds and buried a bunch of stuff, and put me in a house that they knew was badly contaminated. The people in it before were very ill, and ordered me and my family into this house. And we all got terribly sick. My son's immune system was destroyed. The immunologist said it looked like he'd been exposed to a burst of radiation. My wife was bedridden, bruising all over her body, bleeding from her guns. She was in dementia, lost her short-term memory. The CIA was ordering me not to tell anybody about it. They wouldn't allow any medical tests, any environmental tests. Told me to keep it quiet. They wouldn't let me contact my supervisor back in Washington. And anyway, so it was bad. Then they broke into our house. You know, I was 2 steps ahead because I was them. So we were out of the house, and I put tape seals on all the doors and windows, and a little Radio Shack voice-activated tape recorder, you know, how technically advanced. I put it up in the silverware container, and then a little safety zone motion-activated siren while we were gone. And we get back, we go into the house, all 5 tape seals are broken. I turn on the tape recorder, and you can hear the door opening with a master key. Some rustling around, you can hear the alarm go off and then shut off immediately. They knew how to shut that thing off, and you had to kind of know what to do. And at that point, I'd filed a personal injury suit against the CIA because they were covering this thing up. And we went back into where it looked like most of the toxins were coming in. They were coming in from below and above. And there were big paintbrushes of invisible chemical the CIA had broken in and painted on the ceiling. They didn't know that I was using a black light, because that's how you can find a lot of toxins with black light. And I remember Clinton, and a courageous attorney, were standing there, and I hit it with the black light, and he goes, this is like 3 days at the Condor. I'm like, every time I think they're not going to do something, they do. Anyway, that led to me coming out, becoming a whistleblower, and then seeing what the CIA will do to whistleblowers and the perfected system. That's why you never hear about CIA whistleblowers. They have a perfected system of career destruction. If you talk about anything that you see that is criminal or illegal or whatever, to classify it, seal it, put it under the state secrets privilege, and they threatened me and my wife and kids with prison if we talked about the evidence I collected to anyone. And then that was it, that's it. So I wrote From the Company of Shadows, came out, went first, not knowing, to the Washington Post and said, I'm a former CIA officer, I want to come out with this story. And the reporter was like, oh, okay, yeah. He started calling me, and over 30 days, I gave him the story, an unclassified story. Over 30 days, he kept calling and asking questions that required classified answers.